Why am I not a trusted advisor, or how to become a trusted advisor? This, I think, is the most misunderstood by salespeople and kind of the so-called sales experts. And I even heard somebody say, being liked doesn't matter in sales. And what they end up doing is couching the particular situation to the point where it doesn't matter if you're liked. For instance, you go to Starbucks. Do you care if you like the cashier? You may go to a different cashier that you like better. When I go to get my hair cut, some people wait for a particular barber. I don't, because time is more important than the slight quality differences in my haircut, and it shows. So it's contextual, and general rules are powerful in sales. Absolute rules tend not to be as powerful. So a trusted advisor, that has two words, trust and advice. Now, who do you trust? And is trust important? Trust is important if you want to be believed. Okay, if two people come up to you and say, there's going to be a robbery here in 20 minutes, run for your life. Now, if somebody comes up to you and you trust them, you believe them. If a stranger comes up to you, you might think they're either crazy or they're giving you you'll wonder, do I believe this person? Now, I'm sure you have people in your life that you may like but not trust, meaning that they have, for whatever reason, given you information that didn't turn out accurate. It may have no malice associated with it. It may just be a character thing where you do something for them and they quickly forget that you did something, and something comes up, and something always comes up apparently for these people, and they get distracted. So do you have to be trusted? No. I mean, you buy a lot of stuff on Amazon that Amazon really doesn't touch. But you may trust Amazon, but do you trust every person who sells on Amazon? No, then you read the reviews, and that social proof will give you some level of confidence. And maybe the price is so good that you're like, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, and I use it once, no big deal. So trust is important to be believed. If a stranger tells you something, you might be a very trusting person. Most people aren't today because there's so many people telling them stuff. This is the challenge that we're running into in sales, because if one person tells you once a day that they can save you money and increase your revenue, you may believe them. You may be curious. You may show some interest. But when 100 people do it, and you don't know them, the level of trust is not really there. So I think this is the distinction. It's contextual. That is likability critical in sales? Everything being equal, it's nice to have. If people don't know you, they don't like you, they don't trust you, will they still do business? If they have to. A scalper outside of a concert. You're buying that ticket, you look at it, and if it looks real, you may buy it because the person who really wants to go to that concert is hounding you to do it. You're taking a risk. You definitely don't like the person. You're paying 3 times the cost of the ticket. You're giving them money, so there's some level of trust, but you're not trusting them so much as the quality of the ticket. So is it a must? Not in every case. Is it a nice to? It's more than a nice to have, because if that ticket was $300,000, you would not buy it. You do not buy a house without going through the closing process, the title search. And you may trust everybody, but your bank doesn't. Your bank has been burnt because it's their money. And this is, in the larger sale, the bigger sale, the more people that get involved, trust goes up exponentially. And likability enables trust. It is the conduit, the grease on the skid to trust. Do you have to have it? Not in every case, but if you do have it, it goes a lot smoother. Now, as far as advice, you've got to have evidence, social proof, knowledge. And too many people say, go become an expert in your industry. Well, how many of us have time for that? Even the most mundane, early-stage industries, you're talking months to become competent at it. Think about your industry and who you talk to. Never mind if you're talking to engineers or doctors or architects or lawyers. These people spent 8 years plus their years of practice to become good at it. Your ability to hold your ground in a discussion with them, even about your product, may become suspect. So you have to certainly pursue that, but not wait till you arrive there to do it. So trusted advisor, I think it's overused and misunderstood. It's a desired characteristic of being in sales, and we all have to understand it. So trust means you're more interested in them than in you, and that comes across. You're showing evidence of understanding their world enough to have a discussion to help them, and that you care about their time. You show up on time. You do what you say, not what you're requested. And then your advice, you've got to learn certainly how your product solves their problem and help them understand the implications of it. So when somebody says you must or something doesn't matter, it's contextual. They will put up an argument where it doesn't matter or it must matter, but that's not every situation. You've got to understand the context of each opportunity, each deal, and judge for yourself. It is a great pursuit, and it is something that you should pursue and desire to have happen, and not just think that you can get away without it or that you must have it in every situation. Hey, so thanks for listening to this episode. To fill you in on the courses, there's two main ones right now. There's Start the Conversation, Get the Meeting. This is really at the top of the funnel. How do you get to outreach to cold opportunities in your total addressable market and start those conversations? Not pitching, but warming them up to the point where you can have a discussion. And it's a natural, organic way. I have a testimonial at the end of this. And if you want to check it out, go to b2brevenue.com, hit the training tab, and then you can schedule a call or just take a look at the courses. Please do your due diligence before you schedule a call. And please be serious. If you do schedule a call, time is precious. The other one is closing the complex sale. This is if you're running into trouble. Once you get the meeting, everything goes well, but the deal doesn't seem to close. It doesn't seem to go anywhere. They're not telling you no, but they're not obviously buying. I teach you how to manage this, how to control it, how to drive it, how to make things happen. Both courses you can pay per month. They're monthly payments. They're not subscriptions or memberships, or you can pay all at once. I've got a sample email that you can use in the show notes that you can cut and paste and send to your manager, see if they will expense it and approve it. But you really should invest in yourself, because these are the things that are going to make the difference in your income this year and the rest of your career. And if you want to talk about it, let's get on the phone and talk about it. If you like the podcast, it's probably a match. If you're listening to Brutal Truth, I'd say if you haven't listened to at least 3 episodes, please do that first, just to make sure it's a good match for you. And it will certainly help you. Also, connect up with me on LinkedIn. And if you see my content on LinkedIn, I sure would appreciate a like, comment, and a share. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're checking out the Brutal Truth and the B2B Revenue Show as well.
I don't have a question, but I have a story.
Go for it.
So I'm talking to, we're doing account planning now and sort of targeting what opportunities we want to look at. and one, I only have two named accounts, and they're both like Fortune 500, Fortune 50 companies. And someone has a sort of an inside track from former employees, and they find out about this possible really, really, really big opportunity, really big. And they said, our main problem is we think we know who we need to get in touch with to start a conversation with, but like nobody knows this guy. Nobody. He's a VP in a gigantic company, but nobody knows him. And they mentioned his name, and I say, what was his name? And I said, give me a minute. And I sort of go on mute for a while. And I go all the way back to the very beginning of when I started this course. And he's someone that I started a conversation with because something that I found on LinkedIn Navigator, and I didn't have anything to sell him, but he did a good job. So I sent it off to him. And so this morning I dug up that email thread, and I go back on the call. I say, I kind of know this guy. I think I could get a conversation started with him. We could get in front of him as early as next week. And it may end up being like the biggest sale of my career so far.